Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me on the very first episode of MomBoss Life. I am so excited to be here and be sharing this with you because I just think it is so important to have that camaraderie to know and remember that you're not alone. And so today is going to be the first episode, and my name is Karina Groombridge, your mindset and success coach. And this evening I'm going to be welcoming on Kim Trathen, who is a business and marketing coach, and I am super excited to have her on. Now, if you'll just bear with me for a second, I'm going to try to tag her and get her to hop on with us live. So Kim, if you can see us, then please let me know if you're there. Let's see. All right, I will give her a second to join in. Good evening, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining. We are just getting started, and I am just giving our first guest, Kim Trathen, a second to hop on here live. Please drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. As I said, we are talking MomBoss Life, and this is the first of a Facebook series that will be bringing you all a new mom boss each week. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, I see Kim is on the line. All right. Okay, so Kim, please request to join. I'm just going to give you a second. All right, it's not showing me that you're there. All right, Kim, leave me a comment if you're having troubles. Very sorry for the bit of delay. Let's see. Oh, I lost Kim. Okay, let's see. Good afternoon or good evening, Cynthia. Okay, so I'm just waiting for Kim to be added to join us in the discussion. But while she waits, I will just give you a little bit of background on why I've started this series. And really that's because, oh no, okay, I'm sorry. Kim is having trouble seeing the live, which is a problem because I'd like her to join us. So, okay. Kim, I see you. Now I just need to add you. Gotta love technical glitches. Okay. Kim, I am adding you. So you should be getting a pop-up. I hope. I apologize,
Yay.
ladies.
Yay! I'm here.
There you are. You're here.
Yay! I don't know what happened a minute ago. That was so weird. And like Facebook closed out on my phone. Like the first time you went to invite me, the whole thing just like shut down. So I'm sorry, I'm here.
That's okay. One of the downsides, I guess, to, doing it live,
Yes.
but it's all good. We are here. So I was just telling our audience a little bit about why I'm starting up MomBoss Life. And honestly, that is because I'm sure, as you know, as a mom boss, it can be really tough to, try to manage it all, try to do it all. And I think it's so important to share how other women are going and doing it and making it work. and showing everyone that, it can be a little crazy, but it's doable. And if it's your passion, if that's what you want to do, then you can go for it. And I want to showcase all of those mom bosses who are doing it, who are making it work. And I'm so thankful that you could join me this evening. I can't wait to hear more about you and business, and for you to share with all of our lovely ladies how you make it all work. Because really, I know you, I know what you do, and I still don't know how you make it all work. So,
well, I'm so excited to join you tonight. I'm super pumped to be on the kickoff segment here of MomBoss Life. I have warm tea. I have a big sweater on because it is snowing here and our furnace went out. So it is freezing in my house right now. So I have a space heater going. But that's kind of how life happens, right?
Nice. That's true. Oh man.
Yes. Yes. So where do we want to start?
Well, how about let's get started with you telling our viewers a little bit about yourself, just a little background on you, what's going on in life right now, that sort of stuff.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so my name is Kim, and I am a business and marketing coach. I still work in my corporate job, which is in marketing. I've been on my entrepreneurial journey for a while now, but I officially launched my business. I kind of use March as my date because that's when my website went live. There was a lot going on before that, but that's when my website went live, was just this past March. So I have been grinding in corporate, grinding at my own business. I'm a mom of 3 boys. They are wild and crazy and smelly and stinky. And my oldest is in middle school now. He's in 6th grade. He's almost 12. He'll be 12 in a couple weeks. And then my middle son just turned 8 a couple months ago, and my youngest will be 6 in a couple weeks. So,
oh boy.
They're busy. And it's funny, I look at all the different stages of life with kids. You have different things that are hard, and new babies are hard, and diapers and bottles and feedings and changings and all of that. At the stage I'm at, it's more their social schedules. Like they're all 3 in sports. They're running everywhere. All 3 of them played baseball last year. And that was the first time that all 3 of them played. And in 1 week, with 3 boys, we had 7 baseball games in 1 week.
Oh God.
It was, So it's definitely a lot to juggle. I would love to know too, it looks like we have a few people joining us live. I hope people will drop comments and share their stories if they're mom bosses, if they have kids, what ages they are, what they think is difficult. Questions, definitely. So I had to adjust my schedule when I first decided to launch my own business because I needed to find that time somewhere. And I love to tell women, our days are going to get filled no matter what. So really thinking about how you spend your time. When I first sat down to figure out okay, this is what I want to do. How am I going to make this happen? Because I work 30 hours a week and we have these kids, and my husband works a lot of overtime. So he'll often work 55 to 60 hours a week. So there's just a lot to juggle. So I sat down and I literally mapped out my days from I looked at a 24-hour period. And I would look at what time do I wake up in the morning? What time do I go to bed? And how am I really spending my time in there? And I actually found for me, almost every night we would sit on the couch for an hour and watch TV. That's an hour that I don't need to be sitting on the couch. I can sit at my desk instead. I can still be in the room with my family. And if we're spending really quality time with the boys, playing games or something like that, then no, work doesn't need to happen right then. But I couldn't believe how much time I was actually wasting watching TV because I felt like that was my time with my husband. We would just sit down and relax, and we would kind of talk during a show. But I was able to adjust that. And then I also used to wake up really early. For the most part, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I have even before I launch. I know.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
I am a morning person. It just used to be I would wake up at that hour to work out, and I would do a workout every morning and my meditations. And I'm not saying that this is the right thing to do, but my exercise has taken a back seat. I do believe that self-care is important, but at some point, you have to find time for everything in the day. So my 4:30 in the morning workouts became 4:30 in the morning of working on my business.
Wow. That is impressive to be able to function at 4:30. I can't say that. I don't think I could do that.
I do think you get used to it. I think your body
Yeah.
does adjust. I do function on much less sleep right now than what I used to. I do also think when you're exercising so hard, I've always enjoyed running. I used to teach Zumba. I used to teach cardio kickboxing classes. Like I've always been super into fitness. So I do remind myself that at this point, it's just a season that I'm in because
Yes.
I miss it. I really miss it, especially running. It's therapeutic for me. So,
Yeah.
and I would work out in my house at 4:30 in the morning. Now, if I end up leaving corporate and I'm running my own business, am I going to choose to get up at 4:30 in the morning? Probably not.
I hope not.
I know. I will probably, I mean, I'd probably sleep until at least 6. My body usually wakes, I know, I don't know. My
6.
body wakes,
Yeah.
taking time off. I wake up early. I wake up between 6 and 6:30 usually on my own. Anyhow, unless I'm sick or something like that. But I don't know. I'm a morning person. What can I say? So that's kind of some of my schedule. I also figured out too early on, especially when the kids weren't in school, because now mine are all in school all day, every day.
Different dynamic.
Yes, it is. I work 30 hours a week in corporate, so I have Fridays off. So that's like great time for me to just strong focus. But prior to the school year, I didn't have that. So I did figure out too that the most efficient I could be with my time, obviously more I'm going to accomplish. So if I'm sitting in the living room with all 3 kids home, I'm not going to get nearly as much done in my business as if I send them to grandma's house or if my husband is home and I go to a coffee shop. I mean, if I go to a coffee shop and I work for 2 hours there, I can get as much done in that time as I would 6 hours at home with the kids. So I feel like knowing where you can juggle your schedule and knowing how you can be most efficient is super important when you're juggling like 15 balls in the air and you need to, and for some reason, ladies, am I right? Moms have to know everything. We have to know where the sports gear is, where the homework is, where the lunch boxes are, where the field trip forms are. We have to know if there needed doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and figure out how to get them there. And I'm like, really? If I didn't use my calendar,
it's a lot of mental energy, and calendars
it is
definitely necessary.
Yes. If I didn't have my calendar, and heaven forbid something doesn't get put on my calendar, 99% of the time, I'm not going to make it. I am going to miss it. So another thing that I have found super helpful with starting my business, especially if you're starting it from the ground up, and Karina, you and I have talked a little bit about this in our messages, but one of the things that if anybody is looking to start a business or they're very early on and they're having a really hard time finding some clients and gaining some momentum, as much as I love the online space, so my business is mainly online, and as much as I love that space, making those local connections is super helpful because when you're marketing your business online, it takes a whole different type of effort and energy to build that know, like, and trust factor that people need to buy from you. So if you start connecting with your community, start figuring out what groups are out there. I had no idea until I started looking that we have some really, really amazing kick-ass women entrepreneurial groups in my town right here. And it's so amazing. And over this last year, I have gotten to know so many of those women. And that not only empowers you and inspires you, and you can learn so much more when you start just, surrounding yourself with these like-minded people that are maybe further along in their journey. But it also can lead to opportunities of signing new clients. And you suddenly have this whole different base of referrals coming into you because people have seen you, they've met you. And when you come from the same town and they meet somebody face to face, there's instantly more trust there than if they see your picture or watch your video online. So it's kind of a different dynamic.
Yes, very true. And that know, like, and trust factor, that's what's going to get you clients and get you business. So can't agree more with that.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So my journey over these last couple of years has looked very different at each stage of it. It changes a lot, right? And I feel like that's part of being an entrepreneur is that you need to be really ready to pivot and evolve I think sometimes people get so married to one idea that they think for their business that as they're starting to work with clients or customers, as they're starting to put content out there, instead of being willing to really look at what results they're getting or not getting, they just keep trying to force this one idea and keep trying to make it happen when really maybe there's a different path that you just need to make some small tweaks. So I think that's really important too, with kind of getting that business up and running and going. So yeah, that's kind of what my journeys looked like over these last couple of years. In the beginning, it was a lot of personal development, and I still incorporate that. And again, I'm all about efficiency and making everything happen. So as much as I would love to sit down with a hardcover book and feel the pages turn, Mama can't fit that in right now. So if I'm reading a book, it's usually like 6th grade math book. It's helping my kids with their homework.
Yeah.
So audiobooks in the car is the number one way that I have been able to really dive into personal development, because it's a time
I love
when
those.
Yes, and I can't do anything else really when I'm in the car.
True. That or talk.
Yes.
Pretty much.
That's it. My family not as into my personal development books as me, so sometimes I have headphones in. I keep trying to get my boys to listen, but they're not big. Yeah,
Slowly.
maybe. Right now, they're not big Rachel Hollis fans, and I pop in "Girl, Wash Your Face" if I don't have another one going, because I just find her inspiring. So they don't. My oldest actually the other day was like, "Did she just say 'Girl, Wash Your Face'?" I was like, "Yeah, honey, you don't get it." Trust me, it's inspiring. Dang it, it's inspiring.
Oh, nice. So I would love to know, how did you decide to go this route? Now, I think you've had a corporate job for the last, I forget how many years. So
a lot.
A while. Yeah. Okay.
We're approaching 2 decades. So
wow.
We'll just leave it at that.
All right. So how, after nearly 2 decades, how did you decide to say, this isn't where I want to go? And what was that turning point for you?
So this was it was building over a lot of years within me. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I ran my own fitness classes. Yes, I did work for some other people sometimes, but I launched my own classes. I do them at parks. I do them at schools. Churches. I would call people and find out where I could host them. I looked at starting a t-shirt business at one point in time. I still have a dream of opening up a gourmet French fry cart that I can just pay some college kid to stand outside the bars when they close, stand out there from 1 to 2:30 in the morning and sell French fries for me. I still got that dream in the back of my head. I had looked at opening a boutique before. I looked at opening so many businesses, but something always stopped me. And the biggest thing that held me back from really taking that plunge was the fear. Now, over the years, the online space has changed so much. Looking at opening a brick and mortar is still a whole different ballgame than starting an online business. Online businesses really break down a lot of those barriers to entry of the finances and all of that. An online business, you can start relatively easily. As long as you have Wi-Fi, a connection, and then you can start creating your online presence and your offerings and things like that. So once I started thinking about the online space, I got really excited about it. But for years, my employer is amazing. I don't have a lot of the complaints that other people have. They value your family time. They don't question you if your child is sick. There's really a lot of great components. I just wasn't. Yes, they are. I have no complaints with that. But I just wasn't happy, and I found myself wanting more. I had regretted, I was a stats major in college, and so my corporate job is not super exciting. It is in the marketing field, which I'm excited for that, but I work in the retirement plan industry, so I'm marketing cash balance plans and 401k plans and things like that, which are very needed, but it's not my passion. And I spent a lot of years living with regret. I regretted not going away to college. I regretted majoring in statistics. I was like, who decides to major in statistics? What was I thinking? But I did. And I lived with that regret. I regretted not looking for a job further away from my town just to see what else was out there and see the world. And So I had all of these regrets and I felt really, really stuck. Like my heart goes out to people who work in these jobs and they feel like there's no out. And that's how I felt. I was so pigeonholed because I had worked in this highly technical field for, I don't know, 15 years at the time. And it was really hard to even try to find another job because a lot of other employers don't understand if you start talking about non-discrimination and compliance testings on 401k plans or the actuarial work, like it's just kind of meaningless unless you're in that field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did you fall asleep? Hello, viewers. Are you with us? I hope you did not just doze off. But I felt really stuck. I know exactly what women feel like and men too, when they feel stuck like that. So I found myself starting to parent from that standpoint where I did not want my boys to ever feel stuck with their decision. In this day and age, I personally didn't want them to think that you just automatically had to go to college either. Like student loans are crazy here. And I just wanted them to know that they had choices and that it was really important to really think through not just what will make you employable, because that's what I thought about when I was in college.
Yeah.
But what will make you happy? What in the long run, like what is it really going to look like if you go to college and you graduate with XYZ degree? What is it really going to look like 10 years into that job or 5 years into that job, even 2 years into that job? Because when I got out of college and I got my little desk all set up and then it was like, oh, that's it.
Yep. I had that same realization and, it's all that build up to, well, get a good paying job, get security, get like all of these things that it seems like you're working towards. And then you get there and you're like, but I'm not happy.
Yes. Like it doesn't.
That's not factored in. I don't understand.
No, it doesn't fulfill my soul. It doesn't light me up. It doesn't, there's just like this void I felt inside. And I had been talking to my oldest son mainly just because of the age. The other two are so much younger. But I had been telling him, like, think outside the box. If you want to make money right now, think outside the box. So when he was, how old was he? Maybe 8. He got out the sewing machine and he sewed a bunch of stuff and he put all of his little sewing things. He made like little travel pillows. And he walked around the neighborhood and knocked on doors and said, I'm so... And I was like, good job, Kaden, good job. And when a little boy walks around saying he sewed these things, like people bought him like, they were flying. Yes. He came home, he's like, just made $20. And so we were having a lot of those conversations. And I kid you not, I had this giant aha moment. I was laying in bed one night and I was laying there just filled with regret, like could feel it down to my soul, into the pit of my stomach, feeling trapped. And I suddenly thought about, like, I kind of like saw myself talking to Kaden, my oldest, saying, just remember there are so many different ways to get an education now. Back when I went to school, college was kind of the only way still to do it. But there are so many different ways to get an education now. College may be the right answer, but just like explore your options. And it suddenly, I kid you not, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was laying there and all of a sudden it just hit me and I'm like, I'm not stuck. I'm choosing not to do anything different. I'm choosing to live this way. I'm choosing to live with regret. And I started listening to some personal development then. Like I felt really drawn to it. And I had not been big into personal development before that. And I mean, it was like my whole mind opened up. Like I'm choosing to do nothing different during my days other than get up, get the kids to school / daycare, go to work, come home, eat dinner, catch a show with my husband, Netflix usually, and go to bed. Get up and work out and do it all over again. And I suddenly realized, like, if I'm telling my child that there are other options out there, that there are other ways to get educated, there are other ways to be a contributing member to society, you can build a business, you could do, like, why aren't I living that way? Why am I'm preaching it, but I'm not living it. And I thought, who am I to sit here and tell him that he has all of these opportunities out there if I'm not willing to take the risk and go after any of those opportunities for myself?
Oh my God, I love it. That's exactly my train of thought. I couldn't possibly, be sitting there preaching, do this, do that, do something you love, and be sitting at a desk and being like, I hate my life.
Yes.
Not really, but for that time that you're there and not doing something you're passionate about. Yeah, totally understand.
It's a hard pill to swallow. And part of me was even embarrassed once I started really diving into personal development. And once I started like really starting to venture down that entrepreneurial road, I had some shame for a while where I was like, oh my gosh, for 15 years, I was miserable and it's my own fault. I blamed everybody else. I blamed my degree. I blamed my parents for not encouraging me to do more. I blamed so many. At one point, I think I even started to get bitter. Like, why does my job have to pay me so much and have such good benefits? If they didn't do that, I wouldn't feel like I had to stay here. I blamed everybody except taking ownership for it for myself. So fast forward to today, I'm still in corporate, but I love my days and I want to keep growing my business, but having this whole other piece of myself, having this business that I pour myself into, having clients that I work with at the times I'm not at my corporate job, and receiving messages from them of how much I helped them, even after just one phone call. I got the nicest message this weekend. And it, like, that lights me up. That feeds my heart and my soul. That's what makes me feel like I am truly making a difference in the world, because every field and every occupation has a purpose to it. I did not feel like marketing retirement plans was my God-given purpose while I walked this earth. I felt like I could come and go and they could replace that job with almost anybody. Yeah, there might be some training to it, but bottom line, like, Kim Trathen doesn't make that role special for any other reason than any other human being could be. But being in my own business and getting to be totally me, completely as loud and crazy as I want to be. I use my hot pink. I love it all because it's my business and I have that control over it. That working with those clients, that makes me feel like I'm truly making a difference in other people's lives. And I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yay! Okay, so with that said, can you tell us more about your genius zone, where you really thrive and how you're helping your clients?
Yes, I'd love to talk about it. So I would say that really my zone of genius is being able to motivate women to make the progress that they need to achieve their goals. So often, and this kind of comes into the mindset work too, but so often when women are trying to figure out how to market their business, how to get noticed on Facebook or Instagram, whatever social media they're on, how to attract clients, how to write their content, a lot of times they think that they don't know what to say, or they don't know how to find people. They're writing posts and nobody's responding, or nobody's booking calls with them, or nobody, is signing up for their freebie. And oftentimes they just need to take a step back and refocus. And maybe they started at this point and then they saw you need to build an email list. So they jumped to that before figuring out how they're going to get people on it. Like, they start bouncing all around. So I feel like one of the things that is really powerful when I work with my clients is, in the first call, we sit down and we talk about, depending on how long they've signed up with me, but I often, even if they just sign up for like 1 month with me, I'll ask them what their goals are for the next 90 days. And in that first call, I like to break it down of, okay, so here's your goals. Here's what you want to hit. Now let's map it out. Because so often the women I work with, I say, okay, now do you know how you're going to achieve those goals? And it's kind of like crickets on the other end. Yeah. And so then we start mapping it out. And because I focus on marketing, I'm a business and marketing coach. Oftentimes women are coming to me, obviously, to gain visibility and exposure for their business. So we're trying to map out, okay, if you want to secure speaking events, if you want to launch a course, if you want to build your email list, like what do those goals look like that you have for the next 90 days? Now let's start to map it out into an actionable plan. And even that one piece of it right there, it's almost like you can just hear just breathe the sigh of relief. Yeah. Like, now I have a plan. I have a written plan in front of me. And it makes it much more. And then even if our time is up, if, we set their goals for the next 90 days, 60, 90 days, we kind of talk about how far out they've done their goal planning and work through that. But if we set those goals and we're only working together for 1 month for 4 calls, then they still have this strategy plan that they can refer to. And even that added piece of accountability, then they know if they're on track to achieve their goals. They know if they, are supposed to do topic A today and their child just puked all over the floor and they're not going to get to it. Then they know, okay, I have to get topic A done before this next date on my calendar, or I'm going to be behind. Like, I need to figure out, and having it broken down into those really small action steps helps people become so much more productive and actually start pushing through. A lot of times that fear holds them back too, where women think they want this success in their business, but deep down they're thinking, well, how am I going to find the time to serve clients? You know, maybe she's still in corporate, maybe it can be really hard to juggle that balance when you're still in corporate and you're growing your business. Because if you inside don't really think you have time to take on clients and you haven't looked at your calendar to figure out where you will plug those clients in, what days can you actually talk to them, you're going to block all of that from coming to you. It is really, really important to
You're speaking my language right now.
Yes.
You're definitely speaking my language.
I knew it would be. Yes. Can you still see me okay? You're frozen to me. I can hear you fine, but your screen is frozen. Am I frozen?
No, I see you bobbing. I see you moving. All right. If someone who's watching could just let us know, am I stuck? Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
We will see.
I'm sure it'll come back soon. I've had that on a few lives before where somebody gets a little frozen. So I don't know if it's like a little Wi-Fi glitch. I'm not sure, but you look beautiful, but you're frozen.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Because you know those frozen pictures where you're like one eye half open. Yeah. Sometimes they're not so pretty.
You got lucky on this one. You got lucky on this one. No worries there.
Excellent. All right. Well, hopefully that will catch up to the rest of the conversation.
Yes.
So you're talking a little bit about mindset, and I'm curious now, can you tell us what has been the biggest obstacle you faced so far in business? Like, is there one that like jumps out at you that like, you're like, oh man, that thing, like it was so tough to get through?
I have had a few of them that have been hard to get through. So if I had to say what the biggest one was, I think the biggest hurdle for me was in the very, very beginning of my business and actually telling people that I was working on launching a business. You know, working in corporate for so long and only having done, you know, like my fitness classes and things like that, but I had never, I don't know, it was still different. I had shared some of that with some people, you know, when I thought about opening a boutique, but I think they always viewed it as something I was going to do in addition to my corporate job. Okay. And talking about running a business like this, I was definitely met with some negativity from some people of why would you think you could do that? Why would you think you're good enough to help people? How do you think you're qualified to do that? Why on earth would you consider doing that? I definitely had to face some of that negativity from loved ones even. It wasn't, you know, I didn't share my dreams with strangers. It was people that I respected and loved. And my husband has always been nothing but supportive, which is so amazing. Yay. I'm definitely, I don't go hubby. Go, hubby. I feel like in so many relationships, there's a dreamer and a realist. And in our relationship, I am definitely the realist and he is definitely the dreamer. So when I talked about, he's like, do it. I know. And somehow we make it work, but he's like, just go, just do it. And I'm like, oh, but what if blah, 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 and such and such. And he's like, just do it. It will make you happy. Just do it. So I'm glad that I have him kind of nudging me along. But even my sister she's somebody that has to visually see something, I think, before it means much to her. So she was definitely somebody too that I did not feel like was overly supportive of me at first. She was a little bit negative, I can't think of a better word right now. And that was really, really hard for me because I wanted nothing but support. I didn't really want to hear the criticism and the negativity, even though I had already worked through some of that in my mind.
So it's already going on in your head.
Yes,
so you don't
and
really need to add to that.
Exactly. And it can kind of just feel like kind of knocks you off kilter. And I don't even remember which audiobook I was listening to, but they were talking about how so often when you want to do something that's out of the norm, when you want to step outside of that normal comfort zone box of where 99% of people are living, that you will be met with negativity. And it's because that person is either too afraid to really chase their dreams, or because they're fine living in that box. They're complacent or even happy, but you're not happy there. So they have really no business of telling you what you should or should not do with your life. And that meant so much to me because I felt like that's exactly what was going on with my sister, that she's very happy in her job. She's very happy working for her employer. She has no desire to launch a business. Plus, she is completely immersed in the brick and mortar space because she does design for companies. So she has no idea of the online world. And it suddenly like dawned on me, like I'm sharing this dream with somebody who doesn't understand the space that I'm even in. So I finally decided too that like I get excited to share my successes, but it was not my job to educate every person in my life about all the nooks and crannies of the online space and what I was doing. That it just wasn't my job. So, and it's funny too, because then as my business has grown and my opportunities have grown and I've gotten speaking events and things like that, I mean, my sister is one of my biggest supporters and my biggest cheerleaders, and she is completely by what I've been. I just had no idea. Like, this is so amazing. And she's my biggest supporter. That negativity completely flipped. I don't think she still truly understands what I do, but that's okay. It feels really good to have the support now. Yes, it feels good to have the support. But that was really hard in the beginning.
No kidding. Especially coming from somebody so close to you. Like when it's strangers, you can kind of be like, well, whatever, you know, that's for you. But when it's your family and your loved ones, it's tough. So I'm glad you were able to push past that and kind of set it aside and say, no, this is what's important to me. This is what I'm doing. So good on you for that. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts to get even just past that part. Okay.
Yes.
So,
and you know, I think too, I had moved through some of those early stages a little bit more quickly, I think, than some people do, because once I had that big aha moment, like there was kind of no turning back for me. I was going to make this happen. It was just a matter of what the journey totally looked like. But I don't think anybody could have swayed me, but I was just bummed out that I didn't have that support in the beginning.
True. No kidding. Is there a big fail, like when it comes to business and like everything you've put out, done, and have been working on thus far, is there any failure that like stands out in your mind that you're just like, oh God, why? Like, I can't believe that just happened. I feel like, especially as like a parent with a business, it's even more likely and possible, especially with, you know, kids jumping on lives, which has happened to me, or you know, anything like that. So is there something that comes to mind?
I have had, yes, I mean, I feel like I've had a million fails. You know, I've had emails that people don't click on. I've had emails that people don't open. I've had freebies that people aren't really signing up for. Excuse me. But I am a huge advocate for the fail forward mentality, where every time you fail, you need to look at it and assess and see what you can do differently to keep yourself moving forward. So if you send an email that hardly anybody opens, take a look at your subject lines, figure out who the email is going to. What do you need to tweak so that next time they do open the email? I'm trying to think if there's one like bigger fail that stands out to me. I think maybe, and I don't know if I necessarily think of it as a failure, because I truly, truly do believe that every single thing and action that you take is a learning experience. But I think the most disappointed that I was when something didn't work is I was a bit naive at one point, and I thought like, okay, I have some people on my email list. I'm just going to email them and tell them that they can work with me one-to-one. And I just thought 2 or 3 people would jump right on that. And instead I got crickets. And I was like, what? Nobody emailed that they wanted to work with me one-to-one. Like, what is going on right now? I thought for sure they were just dying to work with me. They're on my email list. So I think that's the time when I felt some disappointment, even though I didn't let it stop me. And you definitely need to just, and I was like, okay, well, that clearly didn't work. that method wasn't the right method to use. But yeah, I think that'd be the most disappointed that I felt with one of the failures.
I've definitely had those moments too, just being totally naive in that oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to work and I'm going to get clients. And then nothing, then nothing happens. And
Yes.
you're kind of like, okay, now what?
Yes. And the one thing that I like to keep in mind too is that anytime you try something, you're taking, it might be a baby step or it might be a leap, but you're taking one more step outside of your comfort zone to try something new. And that is always going to teach you some lesson, good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to call it. But it means that you actually took some action, because so often women get so bogged down and like, well, I'm just going to keep tweaking, my website copy, or I'm going to keep tweaking my freebie before I actually put anything out there. If you don't actually take the step to put something out there, you're not going to know what your audience wants. So I encourage everybody to just take action and give it a try.
Yes, that is an excellent, excellent tip. Just start. Doesn't matter what it is. Just start.
Just start.
Yes. So
yes, totally.
I'd love to know what personal trait or traits do you have that you feel have really helped you in growing and sticking with your business?
I'd say probably my perseverance. I could have given up many times. I could have given up before my website even launched. I could have given up, when nobody responded to that email. But again, to me, it's truly non-negotiable. This isn't something that I'm just trying to do half-assed to make a few extra bucks on the side. Like, I want to change women's lives. And every time I take on a new client, I am so excited to help her. But if I didn't have that perseverance, I would have quit a long time ago.
So true. That's excellent. I love it. Okay. So one thing that I'm sure our listeners would be very curious about is, and I feel like you kind of already touched on it a little in the beginning, but for you, how do you make it work as a mom juggling your business? And you told us earlier about how you lay out your schedule, which I love, and like analyzing, okay, I have time here that I can use, and restructuring. But is there anything else that you like use or do, or something to like make it work while still parenting and keeping up appearances, so to speak?
Yes. The scheduling is huge. The other thing that I did, that was actually a shift that I made in my business, again, fairly early on, but I used to qualify to people if I was working in corporate, or I would say, oh, I have to work on my business. And I actually started changing my lingo to just saying I have to work. And I tell my kids the same thing. So if I am in my office in here, I don't say to my kids like, oh, I just have to go do something, or I'm talking to a friend. I word it just as though I was going to my corporate job. And I think when you start to have that language change and you start to treat your business as though it is as important as your corporate job, because if I had my corporate job, I wouldn't tell my kids like, I'm just going to go talk to a friend. No, mommy is working. And that was a way for me to really draw some clear lines in the sand of making my business a priority and not treating it like a side hustle that may or may not take off, but treating it like the important business that it is to me. So it not only made my business a priority, but it also taught my children that my business is important to me and that mom is still working when I'm doing these types of things. And in that same respect, I need to make sure that my children are a priority. So when they are up, I'm not going to say I don't work when they're up, because I do, but it depends on what's going on in the house. If they're playing with friends, I hop on my computer and I'll do some work. But if my youngest is saying, Mommy, can we play a game? By all means, I will close down my computer and we will go play a game together. So I think just really establishing that your business is a priority to family, friends, grandparents, whoever it is that might be able to help out with childcare. Everybody needs to be on board with it. I think having your spouse and your partner on board with it, whether you're married or have a significant other, whatever it is, that is super important too, because, if I'm working all these hours in my business, plus I'm gone 30 hours working in corporate, like my husband does so much. His contribution to building this business is the things that he does in the house. It is He's doing the laundry, he's doing the cleaning, he's doing the cooking, he's done the grocery shopping, he, mans the kids alone while I go to a coffee shop. Like, we are both contributing to building this business. We're just each involved in it in different ways.
Yes, love it. And it's so important, whether it's your spouse or friends or family or whoever it is that you have for support. Like, it's so important to lean on them and appreciate and just
Yes.
like take as many moments as you can to go and focus on your stuff. Love it. All right.
Yes, definitely. And I've also noticed that one thing that I'm not great at, but I'm trying to be better at, is making sure to schedule like date nights with my husband, because,
Yes.
we want to have time together. And sometimes I feel like the boys are wild and crazy and we're like trying to talk over them to even have a conversation with one another. So he actually joked the other day and he said, "Do I need to book a discovery call with you so that we can have a conversation?"
Maybe.
And I was like, ooh, snap, it might be time for a date. After I got done laughing and I said, "I'm sorry, that was pretty funny. It might be time for a date."
Yeah, I think that's a sign.
Yep.
Oh man,
Totally.
Yes. So, I am curious to know what is going on in your business right now. Do you have any offers that you're promoting right now? What's happening there?
I do. I have a few different offerings going on. My freebie that I have out on my website right now, I'm assuming, Karina, you'll update with my social media
Yes.
links
Yes.
in the
I will
description of
link
this
accordingly.
afterwards.
Exactly.
Perfect. So you can go to my Facebook page or my Instagram, or just head right to my website, kimtrathen.com. And my freebie, my lead magnet, my opt-in, whatever lingo you use, my freebie that is out there right now is a guide to show entrepreneurs how to map out 4 weeks of content for their business in as little as 10 minutes. So that has been super exciting. It's been really well received. A lot of people are snagging that. I've gotten really positive feedback about how much it has helped them to understand how to create strategic content, and that it can be a simple process to create it. It doesn't have to bog down your business.
Yes.
And then I have an e-course out on my website that helps women understand how to establish yourself as an expert on social media. So even if you are in your business and you're getting clients, but you really want to attract more clients, or maybe you want to start getting speaking opportunities, or you want to get articles published, even if you already feel that you're at an expert level in your niche, your industry, it's really important for other people on social media to view you as an expert. Because if you submit an article and they go out and they check your social media and there's not much out there, they're going to be like, "Oh, is this person really legit?" Versus if they go out and be like, "Wow, look at what this person's putting out." Like, they know what they're talking about. You're going to be more likely to land that speaking event. You're going to be more likely to get that article published. And all of those pieces to the puzzle are what really help to amplify your business, increase your visibility, attract new clients. So there is a mini course offering out on my website to help you learn how to create the content that establishes you as an expert. And then I have a couple openings for one-to-one clients. So if anybody was interested in working one-to-one, those programs are custom. And I have worked with women for as little as a 2-hour strategy call to just get everything mapped out in their business of what they need to accomplish by when, or we can focus on just the content strategy. Otherwise, I can quote out, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month packages. So the one-to-one coaching is really, really customized based on you and your business.
Amazing. I love it. Especially because most people don't really. Yeah, most people just need that like guidance and need that, okay, well, this is exactly what I'm going through. So I love the custom. I love the detail oriented that you put into it. Very much appreciated, I know, from
Yes.
a customer standpoint. Excellent. So where can everyone
I
find you
love it.
online? Where do you hang out?
Facebook and Instagram. You can search for me under Kim Trathen Business Coach. And my website is kimtrathen.com.
Excellent. All right. So I will leave those, I will add those links on where to find you on all of your channels. And any
Excellent.
last closing remarks that you would like to share with the group?
I want to leave everybody with one last remark about goal setting and mindset. We are about halfway through November, so we have probably, about 6 weeks left in 2018. I really encourage you to use these last 6 weeks. Just because we're at the holidays and things like that doesn't mean that you can't still make progress to achieve your goals. And then really take a look at 2019. If you are stuck in that job right now that you hate, if you are stuck in your business, figure out what steps you need to take to make you happy. And if you're stuck in a job you don't love and the entrepreneurial road is not for you, then start making a list of the people you can connect with. If you can try to get a promotion, if you can work for a different company, no matter what, and any of those scenarios, I think networking can really help you to define and meet new people and open up new doors of opportunity. But don't let the fact that we're at November, don't discount, don't give up on these last 6 weeks. So much can change for you and your business in 6 weeks' time. Yes. So much could get accomplished still in 2018.
I love it. That's amazing. I love it. Yes.
Yes.
Yay. So Kim, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for being my very first guest on
I love it.
MomBoss Life. Yes. Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. If you have liked the episode, please comment below, #replay if you're catching the replay. And I will be back next week with another mom boss to share their stories, their struggles with you. And I hope you've enjoyed. So take care, everybody. Thank you so much again,
Awesome.
Kim.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.